Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is the chart analysis, fundamental analysis, and technical analysis for March 2nd, 2022. And as you can see, things have calmed down over a tempestuous weekend, and I think some of the buying has leveled off. I do think that the buying on Friday and the weekend was due to, at least in part, to Ukrainians, Belarusians, and especially Russians, especially oligarchs, buying crypto to put some of their money in. Now, Russia's not going to use crypto to transact because Russia banned cryptocurrency for transactions, but you can actually invest in it. But I do think some of that buying pressure has actually worn off, and generally, crypto is going to go up and down by like how the war is going. Energy prices are going up. That means inflation is going up, but countries and people are seeing the value of crypto. The EU is talking about sanctions, but since Ukraine is benefiting pretty massively from Bitcoin donations, I really don't think those sanctions are going to take effect. Also, the recently overturned POW ban that the EU was thinking about got scrapped because there was way too many people against it. So I don't think they have the political willpower either to really kind of ban crypto because there's a lot of money behind it and a lot of people are actually pro crypto. So looking at the one-day graph, it's not like the graph over the weekend. Obviously, it's basically straightened out. We did go up to around 45K on a spike, but we spent most of the day around $44,000. If you look at the 7-day graph, I mean, we don't really have the giant rises of the week, but basically the giant rises basically just mimic this giant fall, and we have like a kind of like a delayed like bathtub type formation here. The initial shock caused it to go down, and then like basically after the initial shock was over and the buying from like Russian, Belarusian, and Ukrainian people have actually got it back up. Plus, like some people probably just panic bought on the way up as well. We know that it was partially from those countries because the volume at the Russian exchanges basically exploded. But right now, I think it's calmed down. It definitely has calmed down a little bit. And like I said, I think it's just going to matter on the interest rate hikes, which are going to come in about 2 weeks. I still think they're going to raise it 25 basis points, and I do think that's actually priced in. I doubt they'll raise it 50 basis points because of the war. And of course, how the war is going. If Putin drops a nuke anywhere, we're going straight down. However, we might be going down just a little bit because technical analysis on the numbers does show that we are actually overbought just slightly a bit on the daily. Now, I basically use rudimentary metrics. Like if I see the stochastic above 80 or the commodity channel index above 100, I kind of tend to see it as a sell signal, unless the average directional index is very strong. But the average directional index is very, very weak right now. So because of that, I do think both the stochastic and commodity channel index are not neutral. They're actually slightly oversold. So there might be a bit of a sell-off. You know, like people tend to take profits every once in a while. If people bought around 35K just a couple of days ago, they might want to take some profits right now at 43K. However, the people, the Russian people, the Belarusian people, the Ukrainian people that actually bought crypto probably don't have that option. So there is limited downside right now on a sell-off. On the EMAs and the SMAs, we are all on buy all the way down to the 50. The 100 has not actually flipped yet. The 50 is still lesser than the 200 by a good amount. So overall, the sentiment hasn't completely changed to buy yet. But from the EMA down from the 10 to the 50, it is kind of like a short-term buy. That's really because we've gone up so much lately. But I do think pending the special circumstances that we have now, because it's not a regular market, I don't think there's the same kind of momentum unless other countries start buying as well. I think there might be a little bit of negative momentum because they're discussing how to kind of like limit crypto to limit Russia, obviously. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. I would say it's like slightly negative right now because I think we might be a little bit overbought. And the EMAs and the SMAs, I don't think like we haven't really turned the death cross into a golden cross yet. And the EU is talking about implementing some things to kind of like restrict crypto to prevent Russia from using crypto to get around sanctions, which I don't really think is a thing because you can't run a giant economy on P2P transactions. But that's how it is right now on the daily. On the weekly, if you look at it, pretty much the same as yesterday. Everything is basically neutral on the weekly. And the exponential on the 10 is a buy, but the exponential on the 20 is a sell. And the 30 is a sell. The 30 is a sell, but the 50, one of them is a buy. So like much longer term on the yearly, we're actually cruising towards like buy, but right now I would say like it's still kind of a sell for the shorter term right now, on a slight sell on the shorter term for the weekly averages, because I do think like in the next 2 days there could be like a very a slight retrace that you could possibly profit from. I wouldn't bet on it, but there is a possibility that we're slightly overbought at this point. On the 1 month graph, it's always going to say buy because, but the thing is, I only look at the EMA and the SMA for the 10. We're still on the sell trajectory, so we haven't recovered enough for this to actually turn into buy. If we hit over 45, 46,000, that could be a new level where investors actually want to come in, but I don't think we've quite hit that level yet. We've actually hit a pretty big ceiling, and therefore like the short-term investors who have bought might actually want to sell for a little bit of profit. Once again, the Ukrainians, the Russians, and the Belarusians, they're not really looking to sell, but other people that have quickly bought in might actually want to sell for some profits. So right now, that's why I'm slightly bearish, but there is still hope that there's still more money left in those countries, more people that want to buy crypto that can continue to float it up. So unless there's like big developments in the war, I don't really see massive movements in the market. It could flash either way really fast based on developments. And I think it's kind of like decoupled from the stock market, at least for now, because especially the industrials, crypto is not really tied to the industrials. It's going to be tied to tech a lot more. And it's even decoupled a bit from the tech. I think crypto is definitely better than their stock market right now. People do see it as kind of a new system of money, especially in the countries that are actually affected. And stocks they see solely as investment. So this war might actually be a turning point from people thinking that crypto is just a fast investment to maybe even using it as a currency. I think overall, the war is actually pretty bullish for crypto. It really sucks for those actually involved. But because of the usage of crypto, for all sides involved, I do think people see more use cases for it, and I do think more people will actually adopt it in the future. So right now, at the moment, I'm slightly bullish, looking at my own interpretation of the slightly bearish, sorry, looking at my own interpretations of the technicals right now. But it could actually go either way, depending on what's actually happening. I don't think the peace talks are going to come out to anything. I think Russia is going to start shelling the cities much harder, but I think the Ukrainians are actually going to hold on. So this is going to drag out for a while, and this will have impact on the global economy as gas prices continue to actually go up. But that may not actually affect crypto all that much. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.